Saving 16% on John Deere and Fleet Guard filters this month is a great incentive to stock up at Grossenberg Implement. Filters are one of those easy to overlook maintenance items, but they can make a huge difference in keeping equipment.
Core Cares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
Service Master of Pier is your go-to service experts for a wide variety of cleaning needs. Since 2003, we have developed the most effective methods and products to service virtually every type of industry. We're known for our exceptional carpet and upholstery cleaning, but did you know we also offer cleaning of all types of flooring, along with providing fire and water restoration, commercial cleaning, janitorial services, and construction cleanup. Service Master of Pier is a proud sponsor of TF Riggs Governors and Lady Govs, as well as Stanley County Buffaloes and Lady Buffs activities.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor, and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies, such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
When you're in the need for high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the part you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
Being a part of a community means sharing the history and future of the people all around you. For 115 years, First Fidelity Bank has been doing just that, helping you get the most out of life by providing the services and tools you need, the conveniences and technology you want, and the friendly faces you expect. So you get everything you need right here in the place you call home. Now and for many years to come. First Fidelity Bank.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Do you want to join one of the oldest established organizations in Fort Pierre? Perhaps you are more interested in protecting the future. Whatever your position, the Fort Pierre Volunteer Fire Department is for you. We are responsible for fire protection in Fort Pierre and Stanley County. Become part of this amazing team by stopping down at the fire hall and discussing enrollment. We are not just limited to adults, as we have a new cadet program for students ages 14 to 18. For more information, click on our banner ad on the homepage. From everyone at the fire hall, go Buffs!
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Bank West is rooted in South Dakota. Committed to local success. Just like you. We're all connected. In South Dakota. For South Dakota. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start-stop technology, you'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierce, South Dakota.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierce, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
Graham Tire of Pierre is
It is officially playoff basketball time in South Dakota, and it is the best time of the year. Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Cowart, getting you set for Stanley County hosting Mobridge-Pollock, as one of these two teams will punch their ticket to the Sodak 16. Two big wins for both of these squads last night. Both benefited from getting their starters some rest. Mobridge-Pollock took care of Chamberlain 52-23 last night. Stanley County beat Crow Creek 74-43 here at home. It was a great night for both teams. And for the Stanley County Buffaloes, they got a lot out of Paxton Deal last night, scoring 29 points he seemingly could not miss. And Joey Fisher and Ben Conant, those two coaches, hoping to get a similar performance out of their teams tonight. For Thomas Knudsen, they got to spread the ball around last night as nobody really went above 12 or 13 points, but they all spread the wealth. And both teams got to bring in their bench players and get their starters some rest, which is crucially important as we dive deeper into the postseason. Before we go any further, we want to remind you the broadcast of these playoff games has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the SDHSAA. Want to give a big thanks to the SDHSAA for letting us bring you this broadcast of playoff basketball here this evening. We also want to give a big thanks to all of our great sponsors who make broadcasting playoff basketball possible: at Oahe Federal Credit Union, Dunes Golf, Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, the Pierre Regional Airport, First Dakota National Bank, Stanley County Booster Club, Ferding Electric, and Bauman Lumber. Two very good squads going to be facing off here tonight, and if you blink, you'll miss this game. Both of these teams are going to be running with pace up and down the floor all evening. We'll do our best to keep stats. Of course, they're always unofficial, but both of these teams want to push the pace. We got to talk to both coaches. We'll get to them when we get to our first Fidelity Bank Keys to Success in a moment. But it's going to be important for one of these teams to set the pace and set the tone of this game. Stanley County yesterday got going early thanks to Caden Montana scoring the first 7 points of the ball game. He had 10 points in the quarter, something that we hadn't really seen for a while out of Caden Montana. Feels like he's getting his confidence back. And as I mentioned, Paxton Deal went absolutely haywire, scoring 29 points, hit 6 threes, and just seemingly shot it every time he had it and was making it every time he had it. And it was a quiet night for Eddie Duffy, but he played his role as he has done all season long. And I have a feeling that we might see Eddie Duffy go for a big night tonight. Now, these two teams are very familiar with each other. They faced each other to close out the regular season. Stanley County got the better of Mobridge-Pollock in that game at 65-60. Mobridge-Pollock sits right now with a record of 13-8, but you can't take that record at 13-8. You got to take it with a grain of salt. Very good teams that Mobridge-Pollock has played thus far this season. They've had a tough stretch to close out the regular season. They lost 4 in a row to Groton area, on the road at Winter, on the road at Wolsey-Wessington, and then, of course, to Stanley County. But as they followed that up, they beat Todd County 77-59, and then last night they continued their great play against Chamberlain, winning 52-23. Now, in that game, their defense was almost as good, maybe even better than their offense. They held Chamberlain to only 8 points in the first half. Yes, single-digit points in the first half. 3 in the first quarter, 5 in the second quarter. And they're going to need that defense to step up tonight to try to take down a very good and a very quick Stanley County Buffaloes squad. Well, folks, you can listen to this game on KGFX as you are right now. Maybe you're watching on drgnews.com, buy a live ticket. Big thanks to Brian Menning, our cameraman, for operating this afternoon, and Haley Hansen back in the DRG Media Group World Headquarters keeping us up on air. We also want to remind you, you can watch this game or listen to this game on the DRG News app. We've got so many games coming across our airwaves on multiple nights, especially here in postseason time. If you want to bounce around from game to game, Download the DRG News app to make your listening experience much more streamlined and much more enjoyable. Let's take a look around the state at some scores, as there's action all across the state here this afternoon. And we'll go to Region B here, as Howard took care of Bridgewater Emory earlier today, 49-48, 1-point game, a thriller finish. Gregory took care of Corsica Stickney 47-12. Viborg Hurley over Centerville 77-37. Lyman beat Lower Brule at the Corn Palace 72-59. Freeman beat Parkston 86-76. Over to Region A. It was St. Francis Indian taking care of Pine Ridge by 1 point, 58-57. Lennox over Vermilion 53-48. McCook Central Montrose over Wagner 55-38. Hanson over Mount Vernon Plankinton 77-44. West Central over Madison in overtime 53-44. And a reminder, folks, you can check in on drgnews.com/sports tomorrow. We'll have all the scores from around the state for you as they all go final. Well, there's a good crowd filing in here into Parkview as we expected, and the folks that are still making their way out, you got plenty of time. We're just under 20 minutes away from tip-off here, but the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety wants you to know they celebrate being part of the team and remind you the snow means slow. Drive the conditions this winter. You've got some place to be, and you know we're grateful that we're going to be able to change up that tagline here as the winter is headed out. Warmer weather is coming in. Gorgeous afternoon today, but there is one thing that kind of threw off a couple of the players here last night. Same start time, 5 p.m. tip last night. There was some sun bleeding through the atrium, through the doors, right behind the near side basket. It was getting into the shooter's eyes. We'll see if that comes into play today. I think they've done a couple things down there on the doors to make sure that that does not happen again. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to our first Fidelity Bank Keys to Success. We got to talk to both head coaches. We'll introduce you to the starting lineups. We'll meet our game officials, and we'll get this thing underway. You're listening to playoff basketball between Stanley County and Mobridge-Pollock coming up on the Bank West pregame show here on KGFX and streaming drgnews.com.
From the Hometown Shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at GrahamTire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Ready to gain an edge in your career? Tide Machinery's Service Technician Apprenticeship Program is designed for anyone wishing to become a diesel mechanic working on Case IH equipment through full-time, on-the-job training. Enjoy hands-on work experience, learn from factory-trained service experts, and apply your knowledge from school directly to your work with this unique program opportunity. Become a titan in the industry and grow with a dealership that invests in you at Tide Machinery, Highmore, Miller, and Pierre, your local Case IH dealer. Visit TitanMachinery.com/careers to learn more.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
WindCircle, operating since 1995. We combine quality customer service and experience with the right technology to meet your needs. Our cybersecurity certified technicians will make sure your systems are secure. Services offered are video and data cabling, service and support contracts, cutting-edge camera systems to door security devices. WindCircle has many hardware options: Dell, HP, Cisco, SonicWall, and Ruckus, to name a few. Our staff has over 30 years of combined network design and cabling experience at your disposal. Call us today, 605-224-1111, and request a free quote. Again, that's 605-224-1111.
In a world that's always moving, your journey matters. And at Iverson Auto Group, we're here to get you on the road with a great selection of new and used vehicles and trailers. and keep you on the road with top-notch service, maintenance, and support. Every mile of your journey, the experienced team at Iverson Auto in Mitchell and Huron are here to help. Visit us in Mitchell and Huron or start your search at iversonauto.com to begin your journey today.
Welcome back into the Bank West pregame show, getting set for Stanley County and Mobridge-Pollock, and we're just about 15 minutes away or so from tipping off. This is going to be such an exciting game. And we're about to get to both of the coaches and what they had to say, but just kind of set the table for you. This is going to be a high-octane, high-action game. I'm going to try to do my best to keep up with all of it because both of these teams love to run the floor with pace. Both of these teams love to get quick shots up and trying to have a high volume of shots throughout the evening. That was the buzzer as the 15-minute clock is about to start. Both teams getting set to take the floor. So let's get to our head coaches. First, we'll start with the visiting team's head coach, Mr. Thomas Knutson, as he was kind enough to get with us before the game. And this is our first Fidelity Bank Keys to Success. And here is Mr. Thomas Knutson, the head coach of Mobridge-Pollock. Here with Mobridge-Pollock head coach Thomas Knutson down on the floor before the game. Coach, two very similar styles of play with the speed and the pace that you guys run the floor. Very familiar with this team. You guys were on the losing side last time. How do you guys turn things around and kind of throw something different at this Stanley County squad?
Yeah, there'll be some differences. One main thing is that we're going to have a little better understanding of the inside and outside game that they have. I think you'll see some obvious differences in man-to-man defense, and you'll see some good motion basketball against their zone. And I hope we have, really hope we have some good shooting and to counter and match their shooting.
Coach, we've covered a lot of teams throughout this season, but I don't think there's a fan base more behind their squad than Mobridge. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how the city and town has rallied behind this squad?
Well, thank you for that comment, and people from Mobridge really do appreciate that. And we are known for traveling, and we're also known for at times getting real loud at games. So hopefully you're speaking truth there.
You guys have had some tough losses on the season, but you have to take the record with a grain of salt because you've played so many good opponents. Do you feel like playing a tougher schedule readies you for this postseason play, coming into a tough environment and playing a good team like Stanley County?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a long work in progress to get our schedule to where it was this year, and that schedule and difficulty of schedule does matter, especially to get those highs and lows and the peaks and valleys in the middle of the season to where, not just one or two guys realize it, but the whole squad realizes that you got to show up every night and you got to make sure you understand the game plan and the strategy so that good outcomes can happen.
I think that buzzer means it's time for me to go. Best of luck tonight, Coach.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That was head coach Thomas Knutson of the Mobridge-Pollock Tigers. Big thanks to him for giving us a couple moments of his time. Before we hear from head coach Joey Fisher of the Stanley County Buffaloes, a word from our friends who sponsor our Keys to Success at First Fidelity Bank.
The fullback crunches off tackle from 8 yards. The volleyball crunches an ace into the corner. A crunch for the ball over the line. Warps in the leg tape back to the left. Here's to the ones who come through when the pressure's on. Crunched, so to speak. For you, we do more than write numbers. We crunch it. First Fidelity. Bold to beat. MFS.
Big thanks to First Fidelity Bank for sponsoring our Keys to Success. And now, Buffalo's head coach, Joey Fisher. Here with head coach Joey Fisher. Coach, we saw you less than 24 hours ago, back-to-back games due to weather, but you kind of feel like that favors your team throughout this season. We'll get to the rotations here in a minute, but how do the bodies feel inside the locker room right now?
We're feeling good. This is nothing new for us. We played in multiple back-to-backs, with the Invitational, and being able to win that gave us a little bit of confidence. And, even doing some back-to-backs throughout the year, it's nothing new. It's something that we're familiar with, and, when you can play a little bit more guys, have a few more bodies, I don't think it's necessarily something that works against us. So I think it definitely is something that we can use to our advantage. So
you guys were hitting a lot of shots early yesterday, gave you the advantage of rolling in a new five. How big was that, keeping your starting five rested and getting those bench guys a couple really valuable reps yesterday?
That was a big thing. We preached quick starts all year. It's always number one on our, our keys. So there's been games, where maybe we start quick and then we give it up, or, we don't start quick and then we got to battle back a little bit. But I thought, yesterday was probably the best start we've had. We got out, we hit some shots, did a nice job on the defense end, got some misses, and, we were able to continuously, build that lead throughout it. We had a nice lead after the first, but we knew that second was going to tell a lot about the game. So then being able to make that jump too. So, but it's like we said, yesterday was yesterday. We enjoyed that one, but we're ready for today too.
Paxton Deal went absolutely haywire yesterday. Felt like he couldn't miss. If you can't really expect a guy to almost go perfect again from the floor. Quiet night from Eddie Duffy last night. Who do you expect to kind of pick up the slack, if you will, tonight, looking around at trying to get some other guys going on offense?
It's like I said, I think we have a really nice thing with those three guys. So, it's one of their nights, and then the other two, do what they need to do. And, Cade Montana actually, I think, got us started last night. I mean, he had 10 in the first quarter. He only finished with 12, but he really set the tone. He had those first 7 for us and got us, kind of springboarded. And then, Paxton took over and finished the game. And you said, Eddie had a little bit more quiet of a night last night, but the thing with him is he made a lot more plays out there that, maybe don't go on the score sheet. He just has such a high basketball IQ, so he's not going to force shots if other guys are knocking him down. So, I could see him. He had a really good game against these guys last time. And, TJ's a really good coach, so he's going to have things schemed up to try to take away our big three or our three guys. So, we're going to make those adjustments, and we made our adjustments too, so it should be a good one.
You have a familiarity with this team, just beat them weeks ago. Two very fast styles of play. How important is it going to be to set the tempo for your guys? Because both of these teams are going to be running up and down the floor with serious pace. Talk about the importance of setting that pace for this game.
Pace is one of those funny things, it's teams like to dictate it. And I think we did a good job of, trying to slow them down because, they're going to get their transition points. It's just, can you be able to kind of stem that tide a little bit? Are you going to give them 40 or are you going to give them 20? And, I think we kept them, under their average last game, which made a big difference. And, with us, is we like to play fast, but we're going to pick and choose, those good versus great shots. Or can we get it at 30 seconds, the same as we're going to get it at 20? So, and with having a few more guys, we can look to push the pace a little bit because, it's do or die tonight. We're in that winner take all. So, that's the mentality we've just been preaching all week is, it's awesome that we played these guys Friday. We got to look at them. It's done and over with. Last night was awesome. We enjoyed it for about an hour, and now it's time to, we got a game today. And this one's a big one. Get into that Sodak, so.
Sure was a quick turnaround from last night to this evening. You talked about Eddie Duffy and the role player mentality that he had yesterday. You felt like Caden Montana kind of springboarded his confidence with that fast start?
For sure, he came out and he really set the tone, and, then they made some adjustments to try to take him away. And then he made all the right plays. I think he ended up having 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. So it's like he had the first 7, ended up having 10 in the first, but then he dictated everything the rest of the game. So, he's one of those kids that doesn't need to score to make an impact. When he does, it's awesome, but he's going to make the right basketball decisions. And you were really able to see that last night.
Best of luck, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was head coach Joey Fisher. Big thanks to both coaches for giving us a couple minutes of their time for our first Fidelity Bank Keys to Success. And, a lot of wisdom in those two interviews. Now, this is a Mobridge-Pollock team that does have some size, especially senior captain Shane Henderson, who stands at 6'6" and will be playing underneath. It'll be a tall task for Tegan Breitag, who stands at 6'4", but he had a great night last night, did Tegan, as he was swallowing up rebounds on the offensive and defensive end, but mainly on the offensive end. It was huge for him because it kind of generated more possessions for Stanley County. He followed that game yesterday, as you heard Joey Fisher say. Caden Montana got the game going early and kind of was the one to kickstart that campaign that we saw from guys like Paxton Deal last night. So it's going to be crucially important that one of these two teams kind of gets their footing in early, and we'll see if Stanley County can do just that. We're going to take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups, meet our game officials. We'll step away for the national anthem, and we'll have tip-off right after that on KGFX and streaming on drgnews.com.
New or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
With our new online loan application, you can go to our website and apply for a loan when it's most convenient for you. We make getting loan approval fast and easy. Our local lenders are available to assist you if you have any questions. We make it pain-free to get that loan you've been wanting. We're an equal housing lender. Oahe Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
Do you have a new pair of jeans or a favorite shirt with a small tear or hole? Or your winter coat has a broken zipper? Don't throw them away. Call Lila Briggs Sewing and Embroidery in Fort Pierre to have your items fixed as good as new. They also provide hemming, other sewing services, as well as custom embroidery for a truly professional look and design. Lila Briggs Sewing and Embroidery is a proud supporter of all Stanley County school activities and wishes the student athletes the best of luck in the school year.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
A little bit over 5 minutes away from tipping off this very highly anticipated playoff game. One of these two teams is punching their ticket to the Sodak 16 tonight. The other is headed home for the season. Hello, everybody. Justin Cowart welcoming you back in as the crowd is filing in. A lot of familiar faces as the Pierre girls won their game in town last night against Harrisburg. The Pierre boys are on the road, so there's a lot of Governor Green here in support for the team across the bridge here tonight. And, everybody here in Pierre and Fort Pierre, just big basketball fans. They want to see some good hoops. Well, they're going to get it here tonight on the hardwood. Let's introduce you to the starting fives for both of these squads. As always, we'll start with the visiting Mobridge-Pollock Tigers. It's a young crew led by two seniors, Jackson Eisenman, one of the team's captains, Shane Henderson, the other. Eisenman standing at 5'10", a senior guard. And we mentioned a little bit earlier, Shane Henderson, a senior center at 6'6". The other three are three sophomores. Shooter Frederick, a forward standing at 6'2". I expect him with a name like Shooter to have a big game tonight. Easton Eisman, another sophomore standing at 6 foot flat. He will be playing the guard position here tonight at number 2. Cale Knudsen is a great young player, a sophomore guard. His father, Thomas Knudsen, is the head coach. And, getting to know Thomas just a little bit, he would not be putting Cale Knudsen out on the floor if he couldn't handle it and if he was not the supreme player that he is. And, of course, as I just mentioned, the Tigers are led by Thomas Knudsen and assistant coach Trey Frederick. Very similar starting five as it's been all season long for the Stanley County Buffaloes. It'll be sophomore guard Eddie Duffy, one of the team's captains, who, as we mentioned, had a quiet night last night. But you know what? Eddie Duffy is an unselfish player, a great shooter, and I expect him to have a big night tonight. He had no problem dishing it out to Paxton Deal, who had 29 points. Deal also starting on the floor, also a captain, and circling out the three-headed monster of offensive players on this Buffalo squad will be senior guard and forward at 6'2", Caden Montana. Senior at 6'3", Ethan Leaf Green also getting the start and playing down low, going to be battling it out with Shane Henderson. What I was told was an awesome battle the last time these two teams played will be junior Tegan Breitag standing at 6'4". The Stanley County Buffaloes, of course, are led by head coach Joey Fisher and assistant coach Ben Conant. It's going to be a physical duel down low, but I think it's going to come down to kind of strangely the defense. And, it's crazy to say that when you got two offensive powerhouses like we do. But as Mobridge-Pollock's defense last night helped them get that win, they extended a huge lead out and kind of were able to hit cruise control, as was Stanley County. We'll see two guys coming off the bench for Mobridge-Pollock. It'll be Corbin Stoik, a senior at 5'10", and Kyson Goodshield, a freshman, at 5'7". Different look for Stanley County. They'll be rotating in 5 players off the bench. We'll see some Brendan Bothwell tonight. We'll see some Austin Boxley, see some Weston Prince, some Kelby Olson, and some Blaze Frost, and maybe even some other names. But Joey Fisher is a big believer in getting a second 5 out onto the floor, keeping his starters some rest whenever he can. And it was kind of interesting. Almost the second stringers got more time on the floor last night coming off the bench than the starters did because of how good that starting 5 was and how they were able to extend out that lead. All right, let's meet our game officials tonight. Before we do that, we're going to hear a word from our friends who sponsor our introduction of game officials at the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Right back here as we're getting set for the national anthem. Just that way to show our respect and come back. We've got tip-off here. Stanley County and Mobridge-Pollock face off. Chance to go. So back 16. We'll be back at break the tip-off here on TX and streaming. Here's Mobridge-Pollock.
2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a recarpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start-stop technology. You'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierce, South Dakota.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
Stay at Mobridge Country Inn and Guide Service, locally owned on Highway 12 and 20 West. Enjoy clean linens, plenty of amenities, and a comfortable stay with authentic country hospitality. The inn is within walking distance to most of the town's attractions. Guests can enjoy continental breakfast, barbecue grills, HD cable TV, microwaves, refrigerators, free Wi-Fi, and much more throughout the property. Book guided fishing trips through the front desk. Proud supporter of all South Dakota high school activities.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We connect people. Have been for 100 years or so. How we get that done? Well, that won't always be the same. But why we connect people? Not in a million years is that ever going to change. We didn't build the communities that made South Dakota. No. We just brought them together.
Advertising can be a...
Once a member, always a member, even if you move out of the area. Learn about our share certificate specials at www.dakotaclaimsfcu.com or stop by and visit with us on North Garfield at the Northridge Plaza. Competitive loan rates, including home loans, complete with a convenient drive-through lane. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Well, that was the Buffaloes game. We are getting set for tip-off here between the Stanley County Buffaloes and the Mobridge-Pollock Tigers. One of these two teams going to punch their ticket to the Sodak 16. One of them is going to have their season come to an end. Again, I want to reiterate our officials for you. Sometimes it turns when you help turning up your microphone volume so they can actually hear. It's Jeremy Mickelson, Corey Edson, and Mark Logan. Our alternate is Dan Swenson. We actually got to see Jeremy Mickelson and Corey Edson along with Dan Swenson here last night. And SDHSA is always looking for more great officials. So if you ever thought about getting yourself involved, go to their website, sign up. You know, it's a tough job that these guys do. And guys and girls across the state of South Dakota are always looking for more great officials. If you ever thought about making an impact, now is the time. Well, the starting fives are being announced down on the floor. We are moments away from tipping off here. Stanley County in their home whites with Stanley County on top of the front of the jerseys with the numbers sandwiched in between. Stanley County in purple, outlined in gold, as are the numerals. Mobridge-Pollock in their road, dark grays with Tigers arched across the chest in orange, outlined in white, numerals in orange as well. It'll be Ethan Leaf Green meeting up with Mr. Shane Henderson at midcourt for the opening tip. On hand, we are set to go. Officials are checking in. They've got it, Leaf Green and Henderson, ready to toss it up and get this very, very important playoff game underway. Tip is won by the Buffs, and we are underway from Parkview. Paxton Deal will start running the point. Inside to the elbow for Tegan Breitag. Finds a cutting Leaf Green, and it starts with a 2-point play for Stanley County. We'll be bringing you scores off the Wegner Auto scoreboard here tonight. That's a great start for Stanley County as Joey Fisher wanted to get the pace going quickly. Pass down low, intended for Henderson, goes off the rim. That pass was sent in by Cale Knutson a little bit too high, which is astounding for a 6'6" Henderson. Stanley County back on the offensive attack here. Caden Montana circling back towards midcourt. Swings to Breitag on the left side wing. Buffaloes attacking from left to right on your radio dial. If you're watching on drgnews.com, you can kind of tell we're kind of catty-cornered here. Attacking is Caden Montana, drives it in, blocked by Henderson. Here comes the Tigers back the other way. The pass is through the hands of Easton Eisman and taken away by Paxton Deal, who saves it before going out of bounds. Back to Tegan Breitag. Another turnover for the Tigers brings the Buffaloes back down on offense. 2-0 lead here early in the first quarter. Montana wants three from the top of the key. Rattles in and out, rebounded by Henderson. And you might hear that phrase a lot tonight. Shane Henderson and Tegan Breitag battled it out the last time these two teams played. And they're going to continue to battle it out. Ball moving around the outside of the arc as the Tigers looking for their first points of the ball game. Shot is put up, no good by Jackson Eisman. It was rebounded by Henderson, and he was fouled as he went back for the putback. And he'll have a chance to get the two from the free throw line. They're going to get Tegan Breitag with his first foul of the evening. First team foul either way. And Henderson will head to the line. Right-handed shooter fires the first one. Good rotation for Henderson as he knocks it down. For a big man, Henderson has got a really nice shooting motion. Something you don't often see with guys north of 6'5". Second free throw on the way. No good. Rebound is popped out. Secured by Frederick. And shooter can't hit the three-pointer. Popped around again. And another offensive rebound for the Tigers. Quick bullet pass inside. Finds its way back out to Jackson Eisman, who knocks down a three from way outside the arc. And the Mobridge-Pollock Tigers are now out in front by a score of 4-2. First three-pointer made either way here tonight. Tegan Breitag on the left side wing. Our left side, Stanley County's right side. Now Ethan Leafgreen has it in the exact spot that Tegan Breitag just vacated. A cross-court pass is going to be out in front of Eddie Duffy and out of bounds. Cale Knutson supplying the defensive pressure there, shutting down that window. And if Tegan Breitag didn't pass it out of bounds, it was going to be stolen away by Knutson. So that might have actually worked out better for Stanley County. That ball not getting picked off and leading to an easy 2. Now they can actually get the defense set after the turnover. Mobridge moving the ball around the outside of the arc. Swarming defense here for Stanley County. Picked up here by Eisman at the top of the key. Swings to his left side. Easton Eisman driving the lane. It's good defense there underneath by Breitag, but Henderson able to get the missed shot. Now a quick left-handed pop from the elbow is no good for Jackson Eisman. Henderson with another rebound. Can't get the putback to go. And finally comes to rest with Caden Montana. Nice pass up ahead for Paxton Deal. He's fouled hard underneath the rim. He won't make the shot, but he can get the 2 from the charity stripe if he can knock down both free throws. And a familiar pace now picking up here for both of these teams. Stanley County, anytime they get a defensive rebound, somebody is out and running. That time it was Paxton Deal. Deal again with 29 points last night. An absolutely haywire, but he misses the first free throw. Made 6 3-pointers in their win over Crow Creek. Final score of that one was 74-43. Second free throw on the way is up and good for Paxton Deal, so he goes 1 for 2 from the line. And he comes within 1 of the Tigers. 4-3 on our Wegner Auto scoreboard, creeping up on 5 minutes to play here in the first period. Tigers swinging it around the outside. Now dumped inside for Cale Knudsen. Back out to the outside of the arc. 3-pointer on the way for shooter Frederick. He's now missed 2 deep balls, and the rebound pulled in by Leaf Green. And Stanley County back on offense. A lot of contact right there on the elbow, and they're going to get a foul, and they're going to assess it to shooter Frederick. He can't believe it. That gets the hometown crowd fired up. Crowd substantially bigger than it was last night, partially because we've got a couple folks from across the bridge here in town to view some exciting basketball. No peer game here in town. Governor Boys are going to be taking on Brandon Valley. Well, we're taking on Brandon Valley this afternoon. We'll check in on that score for you. There's a little bit of confusion here on the foul. Now they finally get it sorted out. Quick pass in from Paxton Deal. Finds Ethan Leaf Green. He's got his 4th points of the ball game. Very similar play to how they started it. Ethan Leaf Green had the first bucket for the Buffs. He's now got the second. They're in front by 1. Mobridge-Pollock looking for 3 from the outside. Easton Eisman misses everything, and Caden Montana there to swallow up the rebound. Montana dribbling with the left hand, swings to Breitag on the far side wing. Breitag, no dribble. It's to Leaf Green. Leaf Green immediately picked up by Frederick. Swings it to Montana on the near side wing. Montana pull it up, fakes the shot, gets the defender off his feet, and drops in the soft floater. Really nice job there, as he got Easton Eisman up, and now a foul is going to be called on the pass. Joey Fisher didn't like it. Trying to tell, he didn't like the play by Tegan Breitag, who got that foul there. He agreed with the official's call, but wanted Breitag to be smarter about the contact. 2 team fouls either way. Jackson Eisman controlling at the top of the key, swings to Knudsen. Knudsen gives it right back. Eisman thought about another deep 3. He's hit 1. He's called for a travel as he drove down in the lane. Took that 1 extra step before dumping it inside to Shane Henderson, and another Mobridge-Pollock turnover. Blaze Frost is checked into the game for Ethan Leaf Green. Tegan Breitag took a seat after that second foul. Austin Boxley checked in for him. So 2 new faces on the floor for the Bucks. Pass is now picked off. A nice play by Cale Knudsen, trying to take it coast to coast. It's blocked by Duffy. It'll stay with the Tigers. Quick putback off the glass for Easton Eisman. Goes down for 2. Nice job there staying with it for Mobridge-Pollock, with good hands by Eddie Duffy originally underneath. Mobridge-Pollock still trailing. Another whistle, and now we're going to get a foul again on Mobridge-Pollock. This time it's going to go against Jackson Eisman for shedding Caden Montana on the far side block. Here comes Caden Montana driving in the lane, throws it up and off the side of the rim, no good. And that'll be rebounded, pulled down here by the Tigers. Jackson Eisman bringing it back. He's got it way outside the top of the arc, picked up by Duffy. Here's another deep three, NBA range there for Jackson Eisman. He missed that shot. He's taken a couple deep looks here early on in this ball game. He's 1 for 3 from outside the arc. Score remains 7-6 now, 2:40 to play. Montana dribbling with the right hand between the legs and behind the back, steps back outside the arc. Boxley hands off to Paxton Deal. Deal traversing to his left, looking for Eddie Duffy, but the swarming defense of Cale Knutson is not making that easy. Montana gets a screen from Duffy. 3 is on the way. Off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Corbin Stoik. Stoik is checked into the ball game here for the Tigers, and now a pass is picked off by a cutting Blaze Frost. He'll take it coast to coast and lay it up and in for the 2. Great job reading that pass. It was telegraphed, and Frost took advantage, but down on the other end, a nice drive from Cale Knutson as he finishes the bucket for 2, and now they're trading baskets here quickly. 9-8, Buffs out in front, under 2 minutes to play in the first period. Boxley on the near side wing, dribbling with the left hand inside to the free throw line, hands off to Montana. Montana trying to shed Eisman, swings it outside to Boxley. Boxley working on Henderson. Henderson's got the size advantage, and Boxley couldn't put it in with the left hand. Tigers coming back the other way, trying to take the lead here for the second time here this evening. Here's a quick shot from the free throw line, and it's dropped in by Easton Eisman. Tigers back out in front. 10-9 is the score. Paxton Deal dribbling, swings it. Has it to Boxley. Boxley hands it off. Montana backing out. Right towards midcourt, swings to Frost. He gives it back to Montana. Montana moving to his right, and Henderson, he didn't even see Henderson. Henderson just took it right away, and it's picked up by Easton Eisman. Going back the other way, fouled hard down in the lane. Looks like they're going to get Boxley. And Easton Eisman will have a chance to make 2 from the free throw line. So Easton Eisman looking to add to his totals here. He's got 4 points. That's Boxley's first foul. And he makes the first free throw, makes it 11-9. Couple subs coming in. Henderson going to take his first seat of the night. Kyson Goodshield into the game, the 5'7" freshman. One of 2 freshmen on this roster for the Tigers, mainly comprised of sophomores and a couple seniors. Eisman knocks down the second. Good for both. Brendan Bothwell is checked in. We knew we'd see him at some point. Great young passer. He's a junior. I say young. Here's a corner 3 on the way from Deal. He's fouled. Can't hit the shot. It's committed by Easton Eisman. He's got his hands up in the air, but Paxton Deal was hit hard and almost fell into the bleachers. Those courtside fans got a little bit intimate there with Paxton Deal as he slid on his back right into the bleachers. And this will be 3 free throws to tie up the game with 30.1 to play in the first quarter. Deal dribbling and quickly fires, knocks down the first. He's 2 for 3 from the line so far tonight. Went 1 for 2 in his first trip. Thomas Knudsen, Easton Eisman, and our official are having a conversation. I think Easton Eisman is wanting a little bit more explanation on the foul that he just committed as Paxton Deal knocked down the second free throw. 1 extra dribble and a fire for Deal. He's perfect 3 for 3 from the line in that trip. And now the shot clock will be shut off. The Tigers will have a full 30 seconds to get down the floor and take the final shot of this first quarter. That is, if they can get up the floor. They beat the press. Now they got numbers, but Stanley County transitions nicely. Here's a wide open 3 for Cale Knudsen off the front iron. No good. And with 17 seconds, Stanley County up the floor, looking for maybe one of their final shots of the quarter. Swung to Bothwell. Bothwell backpedaling towards the scorer's table. Now dribbling with the right hand. Finds a lane. Drives in. Hit hard, but no call. They're going to say that they had the hands up. Here's a half-court heave at the buzzer, and it's off the mark for Jackson Eisman. And at the end of the first quarter, we got a good one cooking here. 12-12 on the Wegner Auto scoreboard. We'll be back in 60 seconds with quarter number 2 on KGFX and streaming on drgnews.com.
Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Todd Sandel today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
What a solid deal. Saving 16% on John Deere and Fleet Guard filters this month is a great incentive to stock up at Grossenberg Implement. Filters are one of those easy to overlook maintenance items, but they can make a huge difference in keeping equipment running smoothly. Whether it's your tractor, self-propelled windrower, or that trusty Z-Track mower. So partner up with Grossenberg Implement during their filter sale this month and save 16%. Stop into any 9 Grossenberg locations and partner up with us this spring.
Core Cares helps.
Start of the second quarter here. Fort Pierre, Stanley County, and Mobridge-Pollock tied at 12 apiece. Stanley County has not hit a three-pointer yet, which is very uncharacteristic of a team that loves to take the outside shot. They've been getting it done down in the paint, which is also surprising because Shane Henderson, standing at 6'6", has had a good night thus far. Hello, everybody. Justin Cower bringing you the playoff basketball action. Highly anticipated game. Tigers will start this second quarter on offense. Here comes a drive along the baseline for Easton Eisman. Corner 3 on the kickout is no good for Jackson Eisman, and Boxley is there to secure the rebound. Montana will bring it across midcourt. Paxton Deal dumps it off to Leaf Green on the far side wing. Leaf Green looking around for an offensive outlet. Now uses his dribble, swings to Duffy. Duffy now driving with the right hand, has a lane. Right-handed finish is soft and good for Eddie Duffy. Now, they really opened up that near side lane, and Duffy saw it, took advantage of it, blew right by a couple Tiger defenders, and Stanley County's back in front, 14-12. Knudsen swinging it around the outside of the arc, comes back to Jackson Eisman. Now Henderson in the far side corner. Eisman pump fakes a very long three. Now swinging with the left hand to Easton, who gives it back. They find Henderson in the corner. He pump fakes a three, drives the baseline, but is called for the travel. So that'll be another Tiger turnover. It was a problem for him in the first quarter. Early on in the first quarter, they got it sorted out and were able to come back and tie the game up. But another turnover there gives Stanley County the opportunity. Now it's stolen away by shooter Frederick, taken away from Leaf Green. He can't hit it. A nice block by Leaf Green. He comes from out of bounds, picks it up, and the Buffaloes have numbers. Deal driving baseline, kicks to Boxley. Quick three for Duffy off the front iron. And that is rebounded by shooter Frederick. Tell you, this Stanley County faithful just dying to see Eddie Duffy knock down a three-point play. What a pass inside, blocked by Leaf Green on the shot by Eisman. Second block in as many trips down the floor for Ethan Leaf Green. Here comes a drive for Montana, trying to kick it out to Duffy in the corner. It's deflected away by Cale Knudsen, and will stay here with the Buffs. Duffy and Paxton Deal will switch spots. Deal will do the inbounding right in front of a small but crowded student section that came from Mobridge. Duffy driving, switches from the left hand to the right hand and just lost the pace on the shot. It falls off the front of the rim, and a rebound comes into the Tigers. Under 6 minutes to play, still 14-12 Stanley County. Here's a pump fake shot from Frederick. Takes it along the baseline, too strong off the glass, rebounded by Leaf Green. Leaf Green's having a nice night thus far on the defensive end. Got 2 blocks, couple rebounds. He's got 4 points to boot. Leaf Green driving, kicks to Boxley. Boxley thought about 3, now works Henderson down the lane. Off the glass and good. What a finish from Austin Boxley. Taking it right to 6'6" Shane Henderson. And now the press back on, giving the Tigers a little bit of trouble. They're able to get it across midcourt. Henderson in the corner now swings it back around the outside. Easton Eisman picked up by Deal. Easton driving. Shot was blocked, but secured by Henderson. His put back a little bit too strong. And I think somebody in the middle of that quarter break went out and put a lid on the Mobridge-Pollock rim. They've had good looks, just haven't been able to knock anything down here in the second quarter. 4-0 run here in the second for the Buffs. Under 5 to play. Another drive by Duffy. Puts up a right-handed soft floater. That's off the mark. Here come the Tigers back the other way. There's a left-handed shot up and no good for Jackson Eisman. He didn't let anybody get down the floor with him. And Stanley County comes away with another defensive rebound. Joey Fisher halfway onto the floor, calling out a play to Paxton Deal, who finally saw it. Now he's got the ball, dribbling on top of the Buffalo logo. Swings to Leaf Green near side wing, back to Duffy on the far side wing. Montana's now got it, dribbling and backpedaling, looking around, 10 on the shot clock. Montana working his man back, takes the three-pointer and knocks it down in the face of Jackson Eisman. That's a big shot, and Stanley County's extended their lead out to 7. A subsequent foul coming in on Caden Montana, trying to pick one away from Jackson Eisman. Eisman bent over, both hands on the knees. A lot of hands on hips out there currently, as this has been a helter-skelter rapid pace favoring the Buffs, because they've got 5 guys they like to rotate in off the bench, as opposed to Mobridge-Pollock, who's really only got 2. And now Knudsen wants a timeout. We'll take it with him. It'll be a 30-second Agtegra break. We'll be back right after this with a word from Agtegra, listening to Stanley County High School playoff basketball on KGFX and DRGnews.com.
Stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
Service Master of Peers.
Into the Agtegra timeout. Acres Ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. It's a 19-12 lead for the Stanley County Buffaloes here at home. 4:02 remaining in the second quarter. Welcoming you back in, I'm Justin Cowart. Great afternoon for some basketball. That sunlight starting to bleed in a little bit down here on the near side of the floor. Would affect Stanley County. Mobridge-Pollock back on offense, but Stanley County going to get the benefit of attacking the other basket in the second half. Make Mobridge-Pollock deal with it. Here's a 3 on the way for Shooter Frederick, and he knocks it down. That's a big 3 for Frederick. His first points of the ball game. 19-15 now the deficit for the Tigers. Stanley County looking to extend their lead. Dumped inside by Frost for Montana. Gets the defender off his feet, and Montana finishes it for the 2. Really high IQ play there from Caden Montana, knowing he could get the defender up in the air. Took advantage of it and was able to dip underneath and get the finish. Here comes a drive from Easton Eisman. Couldn't get it to go. Kind of wedgied it in between the rim and the backboard. It stays with the Tigers. 3 on the way for Frederick. Now he's feeling it. Back-to-back 3s for Shooter Frederick. Makes it a 3-point ball game, 21-18. Bothwell now coming down the floor, swings it to Montana, who gives it off to Boxley near side. Inside pass goes through the hands and off the chest of Blaze Frost. That was a great pass from Boxley. Here's another 3 on the way. Heat check for Frederick. He misses that one, and we got a foul. And they're going to say that goes against Stanley County. Thought they might get that one on Cale Knudsen. They didn't signal a number for the foul. Looked like it could have been called against Boxley. Or maybe they just say it was out of bounds on Stanley County. Either way, Tigers are back to work on offense with under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Dumped inside for Henderson. Turnaround shot with the left hand. No good, but a foul is called. And it looks like they'll get Boxley that time. So that's the second foul for Austin Boxley. And Henderson will have a chance to knock down 2 more free throws. Henderson's first shot is on the way, and that is good. 2 for 3 from the line thus far. Went 1 for 2 in his first trip from the charity stripe. Second one can make this a 1-point ball game. Henderson fires and knocks it down. Dyson Goodshield, the freshman, back into the game for the Tigers. Easton Eisman will take the seat. 2:39 here to play in the second quarter. Stanley County nursing a 1-point lead. Paxton Deal across midcourt, picks up the dribble, swings to Montana far side. Montana peeking inside at the defense, now crossing back to the left hand, takes the shot off the block. That is blocked by Cale Knudsen. Great defensive play by Knudsen, not fouling. And Jackson Eisman will bring it back up the floor for the Tigers. Tigers looking to regain the lead. Only led twice. Pass inside is deflected. Great play from Leaf Green. And now a foul is going to be called against Cale Knudsen for trying to stick his hand in the pot on Eddie Duffy. But Leaf Green is having an outstanding night defensively. He's got a couple blocks and then just generated that steal and turnover. There's no Buffalo that's really kind of taken over offensively. They've spread out the wealth thus far. Ball moving around the outside of the arc. Leaf Green has it at the top of the key. Guarded now by Goodshield, and we've got an offensive foul down low. And I think they're going to get Noah Baldwin. We're getting a little bit too physical with Shane Henderson underneath the basket. Noah Baldwin, a guy who doesn't see much floor time. He's a physical player. Joey Fisher will put him in, and knowing he may draw some fouls, but he will try to turn up the clock. Here's a nice pass up ahead, and Shane Henderson, instead of taking the easy layup, gets blocked by the rim on the dunk attempt. I think Thomas Knudsen's probably a little upset about trying to make the flashy play instead of the smart play. Stanley County fans were delighted to see that one get blocked by the rim. Here's a Duffy three from the quarter. Gets his own rebound off the miss. Kicks out to Deal. Deal for three. And it's good. Great eyesight from Eddie Duffy. Had a little bit of a look at the rim as he drove down the lane off of his own rebound, but wisely kicked it out to Deal, and Deal did the rest. 24-20 lead for the Buffs. 70 seconds to play here in the first half. Eisman out at the top of the key, dumps it to the elbow for Knudsen. Knudsen feeds it inside, and a nice finish for Shane Henderson. It was a nice feed, and Henderson was able to use his size, kind of move Ethan Leaf Green out of the way. Tigers cut it to 2, now under a minute to play in the second quarter. Pass is just out in front of Noah Baldwin, and it's going to be taken away by the Tigers. Henderson pushes a pass up ahead for Cale Knudsen. Cale able to get the defender Eddie Duffy off his feet and finish the 2, and we are tied at 24. 3-second difference in game clock and shot clock. Montana being hassled here. Stanley County fans wanted a foul, and Joey Fisher finally gets the timeout. And now he's going to have a chat with one of the officials, and the official's telling him to get back. Mark Logan says, "Get back to your bench, coach. You got the timeout." And it'll be a 30-second Agtegra break. We'll stay right here with 24.7 to play in the first half. And remind you, acres ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. Shane Henderson has started to find his footing a little bit underneath the basket. Ethan Leaf Green's had an outstanding night defensively, as we've mentioned here a couple times. The first of 2 3-pointers made by the Buffaloes came from Caden Montana, and a couple drives later, Paxton Deal knocked down a big 3-pointer. Eddie Duffy has gone 0 for 2 from outside. He's 1 for 5 from the floor, got 2 points. And now with 24.7 to play, 21 on the shot clock, Stanley County will get it into Paxton Deal. Deal dribbling up the floor. Leaf Green standing, holding his jersey in the corner. Doesn't look like he thinks he's getting the ball anytime soon. Paxton Deal and Montana trading passes. 10 to play. 6 on the shot clock. Quick 3 from Montana off the front iron. A little bit of a low trajectory shot. Rebound pulled down by Henderson. Here comes a deep 3 at the buzzer for Jackson Eisman, and it's off the mark. And we go to the CHS River Plains halftime, tied at 24. We'll recap all the first half scoring for you. We'll take a look at rounds the state at some other scores, and we'll get you set for the second half when we come back after this short break for the CHS River Plains halftime show. You're listening to Playoff Basketball live on KGFX and streaming on drgnews.com.
Go-to service experts for a wide variety of cleaning needs. Since 2003, we have developed the most effective methods and products to service virtually every type of industry. We're known for our exceptional carpet and upholstery cleaning, but did you know we also offer cleaning of all types of flooring, along with providing fire and water restoration, commercial cleaning, janitorial services, and construction cleanup? Service Master of Pierre is a proud sponsor of TF Riggs Governors and Lady Govs, as well as Stanley County Buffaloes and Lady Buffs activities.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
When you're in the
Internet streaming of your favorite games and much more. Visit VentureCom with 2 M's, venturecom.net for more information or to pay your bill online.
First Dakota has been named South Dakota's best in-state bank by Forbes. And while we appreciate the recognition, we don't really plan to celebrate. We'll just keep doing what we do best. Serve customers buying or refinancing homes. Support farmers in their long-term plans. Finance the growth of area businesses. And help our South Dakota communities thrive. If you want to experience best in-state service, call or visit with the First Dakota Banker today. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Are tied at 24 apiece. What an exciting first half it was. Hello, everybody. Justin Cowart welcoming you back into the broadcast booth. You're watching on drgnews.com. Shout out to Brian Menning for doing the great camera work here this evening. And, of course, Haley Hansen doing all the real work tonight, keeping us up on air back in DRG Media Group studios. as I mentioned, tied at 24 apiece. This thing has been back and forth from the start. It was 12-12 at the end of the first quarter, and it was 12-12 in the second quarter. That got us to 24 apiece. Looking at some individual scoring here. It's been a spread of wealth here for both teams. Gator Montana, unofficially, he's got 7 points. He's made a three-pointer, as has Paxton Deal. Eddie Duffy with 2 points unofficially. 4 points for Ethan Leafgreen. Austin Boxley's got 2 as well. For Mobridge-Pollock, Shooter Frederick hit 2 threes there in the second quarter. He's got 6 points. Easton Eisman with 2 buckets inside and 2 made free throws. Shane Henderson has kind of been kept at bay for the most part. We've got him with 5 points here. Jackson Eisman with 2 made threes. He's got 6. And, like I said, just about Shane Henderson, that's an important person to kind of keep locked down if you're Stanley County. They have the size advantage for the most part, especially underneath. And that's something that I think probably Thomas Knutson's going to talk to his team about and say, hey, can we get, Shane getting the ball down low, getting him some more looks? Because, what that might do in turn is they will get some good looks, but also might get Stanley County into some foul trouble. Now, the three-point shot hasn't really been falling for Stanley County here in the first half. Kind of uncharacteristic of this team, but they're going to keep shooting. That's something that they always do, and they're going to keep their heads down and trying to keep making some big shots. And, Paxton Deal got a couple good looks, made that three. Caden Montana making a big three in the first half. I have a feeling that we're going to see Eddie Duffy get going here in the second half. It's been a conscious effort to try to keep him out of the way here for Mobridge-Pollock. So we'll see if they go to him, do the Stanley County Buffaloes a little bit more in the second half. All right, let's take a look around the state, add some scores here currently. We read you off some finals that went final earlier today. St. Francis Indian beat Pine Ridge by 1 point, 58-57. Lennox beat Vermilion by 53-48. Sioux Falls Christian took care of Dakota Valley 79-38. Look out for that Sioux Falls Christian team. West Central and Madison went to overtime. West Central got the win there as the favorite, 53-44. Just got to shout out Madison for taking that one to extras and making it very close. McCook Central Montrose beat Wagner a little bit earlier this afternoon, 55-38. Hanson over Mount Vernon Plankinson, 77-44. Close one going on between Winter and Mapialuta, 27-25. Winter leads there. Cheyenne Eagle Butte leading Platte Geddes at the end of the first half, 33-31. On the Region B side, some games, Castlewood took the Smet to overtime, 47-45. Castlewood gets the win. Lyman beat Lower Brule earlier this afternoon, live from the Corn Palace, 72-59. Darren Boyle had the call of that one on KPLO. Freeman took down Parkston 86-76. And Aberdeen Christian took care of Wabash Summit 49-22. As I mentioned, folks, we'll keep you updated on all the scores from around the state. You can stay tuned to drgnews.com/sports for all the final scores, as we'll have those posted for you after all of the games go final. Both teams out on the floor getting loose and getting set for the second half. It's going to be important for Stanley County to try to see some shots starting to fall. Played well defensively. Ethan Leafgreen has kind of been the force defensively for the Buffaloes. He'll have to continue his nice defensive play. Stanley County in transition's just going to have to take some more open looks if they can get them, and when they get them, protect the ball a little bit better. The starting five didn't really turn over the ball much, but it's the guys that came in off the bench that have kind of been doing some damage against Mobridge-Pollock, and couple turnovers here and there, but nothing too crazy. But Stanley County, obviously a big three-point shooting team. If they're going to want to come back and get this win here on their home court, advance to the Sodak 16, they're going to have to start finding some more open looks and knocking them down when they get them. Well, it's been the CHS River Plains halftime show. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the start of the second half here on KGFX and streaming on drgnews.com.
For high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the part you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
Being a part of a community means sharing the history and future of the people all around you. For 115 years, First Fidelity Bank has been doing just that, helping you get the most out of life by providing the services and tools you need, the conveniences and technology you want, and the friendly faces you expect, so you get everything you need right here in the place you call home, now and for many years to come. First Fidelity Bank.
Allied Plumbing and
set for the second half. Stanley County is ready to go. They're all out on the floor. Mobridge-Pollock taking every last second of this halftime break and then some, still huddled up at their own bench. Well, everybody, Justin Cowart welcoming you back into the broadcast booth. We are tied at 24 here to start this third quarter. Officials hurrying up Mobridge-Pollock, telling them, hey, boys, we got to play some basketball here, getting them out on the floor. Stanley County will start with the first possession of this second half. Bringing you scores off the Wegner Auto scoreboard here. Stanley County looking to take the lead with a Caden Montana three on the way. Off the mark. Breitag back into the game with 2 fouls. Makes a nice rebound. And we've got a whistle down low. Looks like they got Shane. No, they're going to get Jackson Eisman for the reach-in. And we got William Haynes from Star 99 also calling this one. And we were both kind of wondering where Tegan Breitag had been in that first half. He did get 2 quick fouls, so good to see him back out on the floor. Eddie Duffy driving down, pickpocketed away by Cale Knudsen. And a Stanley County turnover gives it back to Mobridge-Pollock, still tied up at 24. Ball moving around the outside of the arc. Mobridge-Pollock now attacking near side. Here's a three on the way. Off the mark for shooter Frederick. Strong rebound by Henderson. He scoops up and under and puts it back up and in for 2. 26-24. Now the lead for Mobridge-Pollock. They're going to have to deal with Shane Henderson the rest of the evening. Getting rebounds like that and getting easy putbacks as he's able to kind of work his way around. Stanley County looking to even it up or take the lead. Eddie Duffy driving in. Picks up his dribble on the left side. Elbow. 3 on the way for Paxton is just a bit strong. Rebounded by Henderson. Mobridge-Pollock coming back down. Eisenman coming here near side, dribbling. Now they got to deal with the light coming through the doors. Quick turnaround jumper from the elbow. No good for Cale Knudsen. Stolen away by Tegan Breitag. Nicely done. And Stanley County has it back. Tegan Breitag on the left side wing. Not a three-point threat. He had about 15 yards of space yesterday a couple different times and didn't take the three against Crow Creek. Here comes a drive from Caden Montana. Fouled and counted. Strong finish from Caden Montana. He's got a chance to make it a three-point play the old-fashioned way. That has been something that Stanley County has been desperately looking to see out of Caden Montana late in the season. He is such a strong finisher at the rim, as he just proved right there. And he kind of got away from that late in the season. And I think after that game against Crow Creek last night, he found that confidence again. Misses the free throw, so we stay tied at 26. High pass up and barely saved by Jackson Eisman. Now it's going to kick around. Frederick dumps it inside. And a foul called against Breitag on Shane Henderson, and that looks like a lot of ball from up here. Breitag can't believe it, and that's another foul against Breitag that the Buffaloes can ill afford, and Breitag trying to plead his case to the official underneath the basket, but Henderson will shoot free throws. Gets set, fires the first, too strong off the back iron, rattles in and out. Third quarter chance to go to the Sodak 16 on the line. Henderson's second free throw off the mark, so he misses both, and I think Tegan Breitag's thinking ball don't lie on those 2 free throws. So we remain at 26 apiece. Paxton Deal directing traffic across midcourt, picks it up, swings it off to Leaf Green. Leaf Green dumps it into Montana. Montana will kick it back out to Leaf Green as shooter Frederick did a nice job of shutting down a shooting lane for Montana. Montana now double teamed, swings to Leaf Green. Leaf Green a 3 on the way, high arching shot, bounces off the rim and bounces up and over the backboard. Tegan Breitag still staying in the game with those fouls. That third foul came quick here in the second quarter, one he did not agree with. Here comes Cale Knudsen up the floor. Now circles back towards midcourt. Dumped inside for Jackson Eisman. Tried to feed it to Henderson, and that was cut off by Montana. It'll go out of play. and stay with the Tigers. Good active hands on the defensive end for Stanley County. It'll be Jackson Eisman to inbound. Swings it inside for Knudsen. Deep three on the way for Shooter Frederick, and shooters shoot and shooters make. Third three of the game for Frederick as the Tigers out in front by 3. 29-26 on the Wegner Auto scoreboard. Breitag out on the wing, immediately picked up by Henderson. I don't think Breitag was expecting Henderson to get there when he did. Here's a kick to Duffy on the wing for 3. And what did I tell you? Eddie Duffy wasn't going to stay quiet for too long. First three-pointer in the last 2 games for Eddie Duffy ties us up at 29. Here comes a quick drive inside. Right-handed shot. Nicely done by Cale Knudsen. Strong finish for Knudsen. Regains the lead for the Tigers, and back and forth we continue. Right tag on the left side wing. Montana got a screen from Deal. Fought about 3. And I'll give it off to Eddie Duffy. Duffy is a crucial player. When Stanley County trails, it seems like Eddie Duffy makes a couple big shots to get him back in the game. He did so against Lyman a couple weeks ago. In a game they were trailing by 20+. They lost by 2. It was an amazing comeback as Montana loses control of the ball. Good defense there by Jackson Eisman. It'll stay with the Buffs, but they've only got 2 seconds on the shot clock. Leaf Green was headed back down the floor. He thought that was said and done for the Buffalo's possession. Now we'll see what they're able to do. Just enough time to catch and shoot one quick. Into Duffy. He heaves for 3 off the mark. And a rebound pulled in by the Tigers. Quick pass up ahead. Pickpocketed by Duffy. Taken right back by Frederick. Frederick's fouled by Leaf Green. He can't hit the layup. Ethan Leaf Green going to make him earn the 2 points from the free throw line. Wasn't going to let him get anything easy. But some clear frustration on the part of the Buffaloes, who had a steal. Eddie Duffy came up behind shooter Frederick, popped the ball out from behind after the pass came up from Jackson Eisman. But Frederick, not giving up on the play, stole it right back, and he knocks down the first of 2 free throws. Leaf Green with 2 fouls will hit the bench. Blaze Frost into the game for the Buffs. A little bit of moisture being cleaned up by our officiating crew right in front of the Mobridge-Pollock bench. So this will ice shooter Frederick here for a moment or 2. Job is done. Frederick with the second free throw. Knocks it down. 33-29. It's a 4-point lead for the Tigers as we're halfway through this third quarter. Buffalo's back to work. Frost with a feed inside for Montana. Montana fouled. Oh, they're going to say, I thought he said he stepped out of bounds, but it was the right call. Cale Knudsen called for the foul. No, they're going to say that was shooter Frederick with the foul. His second. So that'll be the 3rd team foul here in the third quarter for the Tigers. Montana fakes the handoff, drives the baseline, and gets the left-handed finish. That was a really nice play there. Got the Tigers defense guessing where it was going to go. And now up the floor, we got a foul against Eddie Duffy. Duffy was reaching in, trying to steal it away from the Tigers. Got a little bit too far in there. Now both teams with 3 team fouls. Jackson Eisman bringing it forward. Knudsen will dump it into Henderson, gives it back to Knudsen. Ball continuing to move around the outside of the arc. Here comes a drive and a finish off the glass for Easton Eisman. Knifing through defenders and jumping up to get it to go right back in off the glass. Lead back to 4 for the Tigers. Montana's got it at the top of the key, trying to shake the defender Knudsen. Swings to Duffy. Duffy drives, secures the ball. Left-handed layup is good. Wow, he tucked that in there like a running back as he was driving down the lane and then popped out through the other end of 2 defenders and got it to go for 2. So Eddie Duffy heating up a little bit. He's got 7 points. We got a 30-second Agtegra timeout. We'll be back right after this on KGFX.
Contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
Do you have a pest?
Farms earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. 3:10 to play, 35-33 lead for the Mobridge-Pollock Tigers here on the road against Stanley County. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. Justin Cowart, so thrilled to be bringing you some playoff basketball on a Saturday evening. Tigers beat the press of the Buffaloes. Eisman will swing it and then gets it back. Eddie Duffy almost gets a steal. It's now secured. Here's another deep three on the way for Jackson Eisman. Nothing but net for Eisman. 2 threes for Eisman, both of them very deep shots. They've stretched the lead out to 5. Breitag wants 3, no good. Paxton Deal fighting with Eisman for the rebound, finally secured by Jackson Eisman. Now the Tigers want 3 more. It's shooter Frederick off the back iron, no good. He had a lot of space and a great look at it. Caden Montana able to come away with the rebound. And as there were not many Tigers back down on the floor in transition. Blaze Frost swinging a Breitag. Breitag with a hand in his face. Swings it to Deal. Deal for 3. That's off the back iron. And now we got a foul against the Stanley County Buffaloes. And if this is against Breitag, he is in deep, deep foul trouble. They are going to say it's Teagan. And that is another one for Breitag. The Bourne has 3 fouls for Breitag, so that's good news for Stanley County. I thought that was going to be his 4th. So it turns out they assessed one previous in the third quarter earlier on to a different Stanley County Buffalo, but Breitag nonetheless heads to the bench. Boxley into the game for Breitag. 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Mobridge-Pollock on the attack. Jackson Eisman turns around a screen, fires a 3, no good. Strong rebound by Easton Eisman, kicks it back out to Jackson, pump fakes a 3, now down into the corner. Cale Knutson, way too long, and Montana there to secure. 38-33, Mobridge-Pollock in front. Stanley County trying to cut into the deficit, and now we got a foul called, and they're going to say no shot against Caden Montana. See who the foul is assessed to. Looks like they're going to get Shane Henderson with the call. And is the first foul for Henderson. Deal will do the inbounding. 14 fouls either way. Next one either way is going to put him at the line. Inbound pass stolen away, and now we've got a foul, and they're going to get Weston Prince this time for the block. And that will send the Tigers to the line. So kind of a cheap foul there, I think, for Weston Prince, trying to draw the charge way back on the other end of the floor. And now that foul will give Mobridge-Pollock a chance to extend this lead to 7 points. Easton Eisman will do the shooting. Prince and Paxton Deal having a little conversation about what they want to do on their next offensive possession. First free throw on the way. Rattles in after a couple bounces around the rim. Easton Eisman has had a good night. 9 points, can make it 10 with a second free throw. Well, they dish it into Eisman. Eisman with a couple dribbles, fires the second off the back iron, no good. Duffy there to clean it up. 39-33 with 90 seconds to play here in the third quarter. This is going to be shaping up for a thrilling finish. Duffy kicks out to Leaf Green as he drives. Hands off to Montana. Montana driving down the lane. Shane Henderson with good hands, able to jar it loose from Montana. And after a couple of ride dribbles, it bounces off of Montana's knee and out of bounds. And another Stanley County turnover. Starting to cripple them a bit here. Tigers will bring it up the floor. Montana hassling, almost gets a steal. It's secured there by Cale Knutson. Here comes a drive from Jackson Eisman. Dishes it inside. Nice finish from shooter Frederick. And great vision there from Jackson Eisman. And a gorgeous pass underneath. 41-33. Mobridge-Pollock stretched down to their biggest lead of the night. Deal. Guarded by Eisman. Deal wants 3. That is good. What a big three for Paxton Deal, his second of the ball game. And we're back to a 5-point deficit, 6-second difference. Oh, they caught the Buffs sleeping and found Shane Henderson all alone under the basket. Beat the press perfectly, and a free two for the Tigers. And now a foul. Oh, and we've got a technical coming as Easton Eisman slammed the ball after the whistle. He got called for the foul, took the ball as he had thought he had the steal, throws it down into the hardwood so hard it almost got up to the rafters, and that'll be a technical foul in Paxton Deal. You know, the Tigers got the free two with the Buffaloes sleeping on defense, and now the Buffs can get the free two with the little lapse in judgment there for Easton Eisman. Paxton Deal at the line, all by his lonesome, and this is I always think this is so much tougher than when you're actually shooting normal free throws. When you're shooting normal free throws, you got 6 guys, 3 on either side. When you stand all alone, it just feels all the eyes of the gym are on you. Paxton Deal able to go 1 for 2. So now Duffy will get the chance for the technical. Or excuse me, the first 2 free throws were due to the technical. Now Duffy gets the 2 free throws from the foul because the Buffs are in the bonus. He knocks down both of those, so it turns to a 3-point play and a possession coming for the Buffs. That could be a massive play in this ball game because it felt like after that, all of the Stanley County bench, all of the fans got up in their feet. It feels like that could be a momentum shifter here for the Buffs. 43-39, Buffaloes trailing by 4. Shot clock shut off. Duffy with 15 seconds holding on to the ball, going to hand off to Deal. Clock down to 10. Deal between the legs. Gives off to Montana. Montana's dribbling to his right, driving the lane. Left-handed layup, no good. Good defense by Henderson. One heave coming for Jackson Eisman. Buzzer will sound. He couldn't get it off in time. And we will head to the fourth quarter with a 4-point ball game. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is going to be a thrilling finish. 43-39, Tigers in front. Fourth quarter coming after this 60-second break on KGFX and DRGnews.com.
Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Do you want to join one of the oldest established organizations in Fort Pierre? Perhaps you are more interested in protecting the future. Whatever your position, the Fort Pierre Volunteer Fire Department is for you. We are responsible for fire protection in Fort Pierre and Stanley County. Become part of this amazing team by stopping down at the fire hall and discussing enrollment. We are not just limited to adults, as we have a new cadet program for students ages 14 to 18. For more information, click on our banner ad on the homepage. From everyone at the fire hall, go Buffs!
Out here, you learn
Fourth quarter photo finish coming. 4-point ball game. Stanley County trails 43-39. Hello, everybody. Justin Cowart welcoming you back into the broadcast booth. We got a thriller on our hands as we expected. Mobridge-Pollock after the technical against Eisman. They got bit by 3 points. We're able to make a stop on defense. Mobridge-Pollock back on offense here. Here's a 3 on the way for the Tigers. That's off the mark for Cale Knutson, but Shane Henderson working hard, getting the rebound. Mobridge-Pollock with another 3-point attempt by Frederick, and another rebound by Henderson off the miss. Here's a 3 from Jackson Eisman, and the third time's the charm for the Tigers. Their lead is back to 7. That's a tough way to go down for Stanley County. You get 2 stops, but Shane Henderson with 3 rebounds in that one possession. Duffy going to take a deep 3 from the top of the key, and he knocks it down. What an answer from Eddie Duffy. 4-point ball game, and now Caden Montana going to get called for the foul against Jackson Eisman. It won't count, but Eisman threw that ball up with his left hand after the foul and actually knocked it down. If anything, some style points for Jackson Eisman. First team foul either way here with 1 minute and 2 seconds gone in the fourth quarter. That's Montana's second foul. Jackson Eisman dishing it inside. That's a nice finish there. Cale Knutson got the pass and then just quickly dumped it inside for Shane Henderson, and he cleaned it up for the 2. Paxton Deal swinging to Montana. A lot of contact as Cale Knutson tried to make the steal. That shot was passed into Tegan Breitag and blocked by Henderson. And now the Tigers coming back with pace. Corbin Stoik with a bounce pass inside. Hard foul on Montana as Cale Knutson went up for the 2. So 2 quick fouls on Caden Montana. He's now got 3. Walking back over to explain himself to Joey Fisher while Cale Knutson gets himself situated to take these 2 free throws. Still a 6-point lead from Mobridge. They can make it 8 here if Cale Knutson can knock down these 2. Knutson fires the first and knocks it down. Knutson's free throw motion's a little bit interesting. He kind of takes it up above his head like a skull crusher where you're working your triceps up real high. And then he fires, and it works for him. He knocks down both free throws. So lead up to 8 from Mobridge-Pollock. 50 to 42 on the Wegner Auto scoreboard. Tegan Breitag on the right side wing gives it off to Montana at the top of the key. Oh, and we got a foul on a pickpocket play for Cale Knutson, and he can't believe it. Knutson really thought he had cleanly picked the pocket there of Caden Montana. As Montana started to try to drive by, looked like they said he just kind of grabbed a piece of Montana to give himself better positioning to get to that ball. Paxton Deal will do the inbounding right in front of his own bench. He swings it into Breitag quickly. Breitag hands it back to Deal. Deal dribbling with the left hand, hands off to Montana. Montana now spinning at the free throw line. Up and under, left-handed finish, and count it. What a play for Caden Montana. Contorting his body, taking the contact, and getting the left-handed finish. And now one of the officials is having a conversation with Cale Knutson. I think he's telling him that things are getting maybe a little bit chippy and maybe a couple words being said. I don't know if they're being directed at other players or other officials, but the officials are not going to have any of that. We've already had 1 technical foul in this game. Montana trying to make it a 3-point play, and he does. 5-point game. Stanley County trailing 45-50. Press still on, but the Tigers have had no issues beating the press tonight. It's actually turned into some buckets for them. Tigers ping-ponging the ball back and forth around the outside of the arc. And we got a timeout taken by Coach Knutson of the Tigers. It'll be a 60-second Agtegra timeout, 5:44 to play, 5-point ball game. We'll be back after this Agtegra break on KGFX and DRGnews.com.
You have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Out of the Agtegra timeout, acres ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. Thriller taking place here in Parkview. Mobridge-Pollock back on offense. Quick shot is put up and no good by Knutson. Strong rebound by Tegan Breitag, who's back in the ball game, dealing with some foul issues. But with 5.5 to play in the ball game, they need Breitag out there taking care of Shane Henderson. This pass is deflected out of play by Knutson. Deal will do the inbounding. You know, these teams are really familiar with each other. They had a close one just about a week ago. Stanley County got the best of the Tigers. Tigers looking to avenge that loss here in the same building. Deal, and the Buffaloes moving the ball. Here's a 3 on the way from Duffy from the left side wing. That's off the mark, just a bit short. Tigers able to secure the rebound in front by 5 with 5 minutes to play. Knutson will swing it up to the midcourt circle for Jackson Eisman. Right on top of the Buffalo. Ball now bounced inside to the elbow for Knutson. Now swung to Stoik for a 3. That's no good. Deal with a strong rebound. Slid across the floor, but somehow kept that left foot planted. All the Mobridge-Pollock fans that made the trip wanted to travel, but Deal did an excellent job keeping that foot planted even as he fell to the ground. Stanley County back on offense, trying to cut into this deficit. Montana dribbling with the left hand, switches to the right, swings to Duffy. Duffy is going to get that one poked away, and he will let it bounce out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bucks. You know, that could have gone out on Eddie Duffy, could have been last touched by him, but he did such a good job by selling and just saying, whoa, I'm not going to touch that. Might have persuaded the officials to give him the call. High IQ play from a sophomore, Eddie Duffy. Montana back to work. Shot clock down to 8. Swung up to Leaf Green at the top of the key. Leaf Green moves to his left, turns around, hands off to Duffy. 2 on the shot clock. 3 for Duffy, and it falls through. Eddie Duffy with a huge 3 at the end of the shot clock makes it a 2-point game. Tigers back to work. Here comes a nice drive and a great ball fake from shooter Frederick. Got Tegan Breitag up off his feet, and the Tigers continuing to beat the press from Stanley County. They're back in front by 4. I'm Joey Fisher. I think I'm starting to rethink the full court press as it's bitten him more times it's helped. Here's Duffy, wants 3 more. No good. And now a hard foul underneath. And that's going to go against the Tigers. Tegan Breitag took a shot to the face. They're going to get Corbin Stoik on the foul. Breitag being helped up now. And he's still a little bit dazed and confused. After that, his head is tilted down, and now some towels are being brought over. Not sure if it's because of blood or because of sweat. But either way, the Stanley County principal's getting to work. And now we're going to get Austin Boxley to check in. Breitag still a little bit stunned after taking that shot to the face from Corbin Stoik. Now he's up and moving around, but he's going to have to head to the bench for the injury. Hope that Tegan's okay. Round of applause as he heads back to the Buffalo bench. Austin Boxley will do the work of Tegan Breitag. Well, Breitag gets attended to by the Avera medical team. Duffy will do the inbounding here for the Buffaloes, and now we're going to get an offensive foul. And Paxton Deal is going to be the guilty party on that one. He was trying to cut through. Looks like he got into the chest of shooter Frederick. So now the Tigers bringing it up the floor. This one's batted out of play. Joey Fisher thought that was last off of Jackson Eisman. He's got a wry smile on his face, as does the official, but it'll stay with the Tigers here. 3:35 to play, 52-48 lead for the Tigers. Buffalo's trying to come back and win this one at home. Easton Eisman dribbling between the legs. Back to the top of the key for Jackson Eisman. Into the corner for Frederick. Frederick for 3, and he knocks it down. He has been white hot from outside the arc. 4 threes for Frederick. They extend the lead back out to 7 points. Pass is going to be deflected out of play by Cale Knutson as he cut in front of that pass from Paxton Deal intended for Caden, Montana. Good to see for the Buffaloes. Tegan Breitag checking back into the ball game. Tell you what, every time the Buffaloes go on a little bit of a run, Mobridge-Pollock's got an answer for them. Montana now driving, spinning at the free throw line, pulls up for the mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound pulled in by Easton Eisman. Eisman charging down the floor, right-handed floater is up and good. And the Tigers extend the lead to 9. Stanley County going to have to take a timeout, talk it over. Momentum sits with the Tigers. Buffalo's trying to shift that here. We'll take the break with them. It'll be a 60-second Agtegra timeout. We'll be back in about a minute with more high school basketball playoff action on KGFX and DRGnews.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Bank West is rooted in South Dakota. Committed to local success. Just like you. We're all connected. In South Dakota. For South Dakota. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West.
In the fourth quarter, it's a 9-point Tiger lead. Stanley County trying to come back. A trip to the Sodak 16 is on the line for one of these teams. The end of the season coming for the other. Buffalo's back on offense. Montana trying to cut into the deficit with a 3. That's off the mark. Rebound pulled in by shooter Frederick. And now with 2.5 to play, Stanley County still has plenty of time, but they got to see some shots fall, and they got to get some stops on defense. Cale Knudsen on the far side wing will swing back up to Easton Eisman. Eisman with a bounce pass inside for Knudsen, turns around, finds some space, and knocks down the jumper. So 11-point lead for the Tigers, and it's crunch time now for the Buffaloes. Their season depends on these next couple possessions. Paxton Deal spinning in the lane, kicks to Breitag, off his hands, right back to Deal. Deal with a bounce pass through to Eddie Duffy. Duffy driving baseline. He's going to get fouled by shooter Frederick. And Duffy will head to the line to try to make this a single-digit deficit. But we're under 2 minutes to play. 3 team fouls for Stanley County, 4 for Mobridge. When it does come time to start fouling, as Eddie Duffy knocks down the first free throw, Stanley County will have to commit 2 more. If they don't have any between now and then, when they start running out of time and have to send Mobridge to the line to try to win some possessions back, but some crucial free throws go down for Eddie Duffy. He makes them both. And it's a 59-50 game. Mobridge-Pollock still out in front. Jackson Eisman pushing it forward. Press still on for the bus, but good transition. D and a steal from Duffy. Duffy trying to take it back the other way. He's fouled again underneath. They're going to get Cale Knudsen. And Eddie Duffy with a massive play on defense. 1:46 remaining. He just made the 2 free throws. Can make 2 more and make it a 7-point ball game. I'll tell you, Eddie Duffy's had some big defensive plays this season, but maybe none bigger than that one right there. Quickly into the shot clock, gets the steal. Now even bigger, got to hit these free throws. A great free throw shooter is Eddie Duffy. He knocks down his 4th of the night. That's the 3rd foul for Knudsen. Eddie Duffy knocks down both free throws. Ice in his veins, 59-52. Can the Buffs find another defensive steal? Leaf Green's going to pick up Cale Knudsen across midcourt. Henderson's got it in the corner, now pushes it back out. Mobridge-Pollock, who was in a hurry all evening, finally slowing things down. Ethan Leaf Green tried to pick off a pass. Unsuccessful. Jackson Eisman driving, dishes it inside for Shane Henderson. Henderson loses it, and now Caden Montana going to get called for a foul. Montana hanging his head, thought he got a lot of ball on that reach-in. So there's the 4th team foul, and now a timeout is taken by Thomas Knudsen. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here for it. Action heating up. 1:22 to play in the ball game. Mobridge-Pollock leading 59-52. Perfect time to remind you, acres ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. Very similar style of game from the last time these two teams played, when Stanley County got the better of Mobridge-Pollock, winning that one by 5, 65-60. I didn't know any better. We're headed for a very similar finish, but maybe the winner coming on one of the other sides. At this point in the game, it reminds me back to when Stanley County lost against Lyman on the road, but they were trailing by 18 points in the 4th quarter. Eddie Duffy hit a couple huge threes to get the Stanley County Buffaloes back in it. They would lose that game It was proof that they could come back about just against anybody. Tigers back out of the Agtegra timeout. We've got a foul. That's going to be against Eddie Duffy, and it seems that Joey Fisher has said we got to start trying to win back some possessions, and now they're going to hope that Mobridge-Pollock starts to miss a couple free throws from the charity stripe. Cale Knutson heads to the line. Cale's had a great night, and he knocks down the first free throw. Been a physical game. Hasn't gotten chippy. It's just you can tell how much this game means to both sides. It's going to be a devastating loss for one of these two teams. Cale Knutson knocks them both down. Lead is back up to 9 for Mobridge-Pollock with 1:13 remaining. Duffy sprinting up the floor with it. He's going to pull a quick three. I think everybody in the building knew that shot was coming. It's off the mark. Ball popcorning around underneath the hoop. Down to the floor goes Caden Montana. Can't secure it. And now Mobridge-Pollock just standing idly. Bounce pass up ahead, and Breitag is going to foul Henderson. And Henderson's a good free throw shooter, but I think of all the 5 on the floor for the Tigers, that's the guy that Stanley County wants to send to the line. Henderson 3 for 4 tonight. That's the 4th foul for Tegan Breitag. Kelby Olsen heading to the scorer's table. First free throw is up and good for Henderson. Looks like Joey Fisher maybe wants to get a shooter in there and somebody that doesn't have any fouls. Ethan Leafgreen will head to the bench for the Bucks. Henderson's second free throw off the back iron. Breitag climbs the ladder to get the rebound. 10-point deficit under a minute to play. Stanley County needs some buckets, and they need them quick. Kelby Olsen, nice feed inside. Breitag puts it in off the glass for 2, so that's a start. And they get a steal or a stop. Paxton Deal just going to go in and foul Easton Eisman. There wasn't much of an attempt to get after the ball there. Eisman was a little bit flippant with the ball, holding it. Thought Paxton Deal, before committing the foul, could have gone in there trying to rip it away. But an 8-point ball game, 43.4, feels a little bit like reality maybe setting in. Now, Stanley County is no stranger to wild finishes in this building. As the first free throw is up and good for Easton Eisman. Joey Fisher was a part of one of those wild finishes. In his playing days back here with Stanley County, they were trailing to Chamberlain in a regional matchup. I believe they were trailing by 12. Second free throw is no good. Buffs were able to come back and win that one with a Joey Fisher buzzer beater. Love some of that same magic. Here's a Montana 3 on the way. That's no good. Rebound is pulled in by the Tigers. And now a foul by Kelby Olsen, as Jackson Eisman was headed up the floor. And with 32.7, situation looking ever more dire here as Michael Knutson is trotting up and down the bench, giving his team high fives. That's kind of the equivalent of a Gatorade bath, I guess you could say. Jackson Eisman with the first free throw. Left-handed shooter knocks down the first. Some hanging heads on the Stanley County bench as they trail by 10 with 32.7 remaining. Second free throw in and out. So Mobridge-Pollock, a pass up for Kelby Olsen. It caught him off guard. And now Shane Henderson comes flying in, drops the head, and knocks him down. It stays with the Buffaloes. Montana driving, kicks it out. Paxton Deal fires a 3. That's off the mark. Breitag popping around. Breitag is fouled hard underneath as he takes a big thump on the floor. Breitag has taken a couple stout shots tonight. Took one to the face and then took one to the back of the head there. They're going to send Breitag over to the bench. He's got some blood coming out of the elbow. The foul was on Shooter Frederick. That was his 4th. And now they're going to have to tend to Tegan Breitag. He's the one that's set to take these free throws. Both teams in the bonus. But they got to get him worked on. The Great Avera medical staff down there getting him taped up. 18.3 here in the ball game. And the raucous Stanley County crowd pretty quiet right now. All of Mobridge that has made the trip, at least in the student section, is standing. Stick around for the Family Dental Appear in Gettysburg post-game show. We'll take you around the state at some other scores. We'll recap the scoring in this one. Hand out a Bauman Lumber Player of the Game t-shirt. Deacon Breitag still being talked to. It looks like the officials didn't want to let him take that free throw, but now they back off, and Breitag will attempt the two. Breitag's first is a little bit too strong off the mark. Now he's shooting with a big hunk of tape on that right elbow, and he's still stretching it out, trying to get work. And if you ever shot a basketball, you know that something on your elbow that's unfamiliar to you can cause some errant shooting. Breitag doesn't have a problem with the second one. He goes 1 for 2. Breitag will hit the bench. Ethan Leafgreen back in. 9-point game. Stanley County almost surely has to get a steal on this inbound pass. It's a left-handed heave up ahead. Shane Henderson going to catch, turn around, and kill time. Foul comes from Paxton Deal on shooter Frederick, and with 14.5, Stanley County starting to understand the severity of the situation, that their season might be coming to an end here. Shooter Frederick heads to the line. Frederick has had an outstanding night. My County's made 5 3-pointers as he knocks down the first free throw. Second one on the way, and he knocks it down. 66-55. Paxton Deal will bring it up the floor. He heaves an NBA range 3, falls to his back. No foul called. Montana is just going to let the clock run out, and Mobridge-Pollock has punched their ticket to the Sodak 16, and Stanley County has seen their season come to a crushing end. 66-55 is the final. Mobridge-Pollock is advancing as they wait to see who they'll take on in the tournament. Handshake line commencing. Some tears of pain falling for the Buffaloes as a great season, one of their best regular seasons in their school's history, has come to a devastating end. 66-55, the finish on the Wegner Auto scoreboard. Stick around for the Family Dental Appear in Gettysburg post-game show. As I mentioned, we'll check you in on some scores from around the state. We'll recap this one for you, and we'll get you out of here on your Saturday evening. We'll be back after this short break on KGFX and streaming on drgnews.com with the Family Dental Appear in Gettysburg post-game show.
Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start-stop technology. You'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierce, South Dakota.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierce, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your premier hometown shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at grahamtire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
And because we do have William Haynes here with Star 99, Mobridge-Pollock is going to get awarded a Player of the Game t-shirt. So our Player of the Game is going to go to someone from the Stanley County Buffaloes. A couple guys had big nights. Eddie Duffy got it going in the second half. He had 3 3-pointers and finished with 18 points. And we're going to give out 2 t-shirts here tonight to 2 guys that are well-deserving. Eddie Duffy's going to get one, as he is our Stanley County Player of the Game, finishing again with 18 points. But there was one that won't show up on the stat sheet as much, and that was Ethan Leafgreen. In the first half, he had some great defensive plays, a couple big blocks, a really nice job stripping the ball away from a tall Shane Henderson, a long team in Mobridge-Pollock as well. Ethan Leafgreen, again, his stats, like I said, he finished with 4 points, but he did a lot defensively here for Stanley County. And like I mentioned, Mobridge-Pollock will have a Star 99 Player of the Game t-shirt, so we wanted to make sure that we honored somebody from Stanley County. Looking back through the individual scoring, Caden Montana finished with 16 points for the Buffs. Eddie Duffy led the Buffaloes in scoring with 18. Paxton Deal finishing with 11. Ethan Leafgreen finishing with 4. Looking at Mobridge-Pollock, they had a couple really nice stat finishes from some of their guys. Shooter Frederick had the biggest night of all, hitting, by my count, 5 3-pointers and finishing north of 20 points for the Tigers. Jackson Eisman also had a nice night, hitting a couple deep threes. He finished with 3 3-pointers and 9 total points. Shane Henderson down low. You know, the Stanley County Buffaloes did, in my mind, a nice job dealing with 6'6" Shane Henderson. The guy was a force all night. He, as I have it counted here, he finished with 10 points for Mobridge-Pollock, and it could have been a lot more. He was kind of a force underneath, but congratulations to both Ethan Leafgreen and Eddie Duffy as being our 2 players of the game here tonight, presented by Bauman Lumber. It was a tough night for Stanley County. They couldn't really get it going offensively. It seemed like every time they started to put together a run, Mobridge-Pollock had an answer for them. And it was something that we expected. You know, Mobridge-Pollock had a great defensive game against Chamberlain last night, holding them to single digits in the first half. Chamberlain only scored 3 points in the first quarter, 5 points in the second quarter, if our stats read correctly. So Stanley County knew this was going to be an incredibly difficult defensive performance tonight. They were going to have to find offense in other places that they hadn't found throughout the season. Mobridge-Pollock knew exactly what they were going to get. Eddie Duffy being a great shooter, they did a nice job locking him down. They did what they could against Paxton Deal, locking him down. And it wasn't the similar performance that we're used to. You know, Paxton Deal had 29 points last night, held to just 2 threes tonight after having a 6 3-pointer performance an evening ago. So that was our Bauman Lumber Player of the Game. Real quick, before we send you out of here, let's take a look at some scores on the boys' side from around the state. We read you off some finals earlier. Cheyenne, Eagle Butte, and Platte Geddes going down to the wire under 1 minute left remaining in the fourth quarter. Cheyenne Eagle Butte leading 58-55. That one has actually now just gone final. Winner beat Mapialuta 72-55. Hanson over Mount Vernon Plankinton 77-44. McCook Central Montrose beat Wagner 55-38. West Central over Madison in overtime 53-44. Sioux Falls Christian looking stout as can be, winning over Dakota Valley 79-38. St. Francis Indian went to the wire with Pine Ridge. St. Francis Indian getting the win on the road 58-57 in a tough place to play in Lenox. Beat Vermilion 53-48. On the Region B side, Gregory beat Corsica Stickney convincingly 47-12. Del Rapids St. Mary over Coleman Egan 69-59. Freeman over Parkston 86-76. Castlewood beat DeSmet in overtime 47-45. And Wessington Springs and Wolsey Wessington in a close one just beginning the third quarter. Wessington Springs leading 26-20 there. Well, folks, on your way home from the game, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds you to think twice. Slow down in case of ice. You've got someplace to be. Warmer weather is arriving. Happy to update that tagline here soon enough. As you never know, though, in South Dakota where you're going to find ice. It is everywhere. And we also want to remind you this activity was brought to you by this station, its advertisers, and the member schools of the SDHSAA. No rebroadcast in whole or in part may be made without the written permission of the SDHSAA. Want to give a big shout out to all of our great sponsors who made broadcasting this high school playoff basketball action possible. Our friends at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, Dunes Golf, Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, Pierre Regional Airport, First Dakota National Bank, Stanley County Booster Club, Furting Electric, Bauman Lumber, our KGFX sports sponsor, Adventure Communication, and our sports video sponsors at Bauman Lumber. One final time off the Wegner Auto scoreboard, the Stanley County Buffalo Seasons comes to a crushing end after losing to Mobridge-Pollock 66-55. You can see all the scores from around the state for you on drgnews.com. Just go to the sports page. We'll keep you updated on our upcoming broadcasts as well. For Brian Menning on the camera here tonight for drgnews.com, buy a live ticket. For Haley Hansen back in the DRG Media Group World Headquarters, I'm Justin Coward, thanking you for listening to tonight's broadcast. Have a great rest of your Saturday night and a safe weekend. Have a great evening, everybody.